funny, but we don't need to like start right away, so it's all good.
Okay, I'm gonna say we're
Um,
live on Twitter.
Make sure you got the video link.
Oh,
No, that will. I'll send you a link to the actual this video
okay.
specifically. Because if you send them the link, it'll put them in the call. So,
Nice. Dope, 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 dope.
fuck. Come on, you little bitch boy. Copy. What the freaking fuck? Oh, my Wi-Fi is off. That's why it's not. Hold on.
The hotel year shirt. Well,
So comfy.
you're so comfy. You got a comfy aura.
Oh, thanks, man.
Weirdly, I don't think that's the first time I've ever said that to you.
Dude. I'm gonna get so mad.
Me?
Me.
Oh, you're gonna get so mad.
All right, I just texted you the link to this specific video.
Okay. Wait, who's getting mad?
You to tweet, right?
Oh, I'm not mad about tweeting.
No. I'm getting mad because it wouldn't it wouldn't
Oh,
let me copy and paste it.
okay.
Turn the Wi-Fi back off. And can we you know what? Let me test this out. See a couple things.
Say a couple things. I just tweeted, "We lice" instead of "we live." Lice.
We lice, baby. We the lice.
My hair. What else would I say? I'm just like,
Ooh, Jason's here already. What's up, man?
Jason tweeted he was excited. I'm excited about
Oh,
Jason
Pat, are
being
you
excited.
able to see the YouTube comments?
It's possible that that is not the case, but that's okay.
Damn.
You'd have to you
Um,
keep track if there are questions that come in on the comments.
all right, you get the Google Doc. I've got YouTube.
Yeah,
How's that sound?
just like hooking it up, baby.
Alrighty. This is our first time ever trying to
Ever,
do a live stream for like a proper episode. Like this is actually going out on the
ever.
podcast. Ooh, you know what? I should probably we got to get our backup recordings before we go. Ooh, almost forgot.
The
Okay,
Tom.
I've got
That's
mine
his nickname.
going.
I told him
Comfy
that
aura.
he has a comfy aura before we went live. It actually might have been while we went live.
We may have been. I don't know how long we've been on,
He's got a
but we're still getting it set up.
PhD degree and a comfy boy. Okay, I'm just gonna hit record and we'll figure it out later.
Yeah. If I lose your audio, I'll let you know.
Check, check.
All
Yep.
right. So we're still there. Melissa says
Dum
hello.
dum
She's on
dum
the stair
dum
climber.
dum dum. Wow,
Says exercise and live AMA. Wow.
she's gonna
I
get more done than we're gonna get done in this time period.
I didn't move at all today. So.
The dad life is more sedentary than normal COVID life was somehow, and
Ugh.
it hurts your body more to move more quickly than anyone.
Totally does, dude. Like I when I was working at Tesla, I was on roofs and it was like steep roofs all day and my knees hurt and somehow they hurt even worse sitting all day. So it's definitely not
Yes,
good.
not yeah at all.
Oh, oh my gosh, Katie's here, Nathan's here.
Hi everybody! Wow, it's a Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle this is even working. Nathan says, Pat, you got to grow out that beard as long as mine. You up for it?
Sure. I like. I guess a smarter me would have been like, "What's in it for me?" But I'm just down. I love the energy already, so do it for free. Why not? Yeah, let's get into it.
Melanie's here. What's going on? We're just
Hi
kind
everybody.
of spitballing as people come in. We've got some questions in a Google Doc. I'm seeing the comments. I think Pat could probably get onto YouTube and see them
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
himself.
open up
But
the Google. Well, we could get the Beatles out of the way first. Which one thing that was funny about that at all for Tom. But we're like, hey, don't ask us about this questions this month, and it was the first question we got.
Well, you ask people not to do something.
We set him up for that essentially, but it was still funny that you all knew. Um, do you want to just dive into it, Tom? So we do this every year. How about a little background? We started doing
Yeah.
Christmas episodes 5 years ago, and we did all the Christmas episodes. All the Christmas songs out there were on the table for that. So we immediately cut ourselves off from any.
Right.
And now we started doing Q&As on actual Christmas because I guess the thinking was related to the holidays of December, the week before for your travels. But on the Friday of, I don't think you'd want to like if you missed it by a day, you wouldn't want to hear a Christmas thing after. I think you're kind of in New Year's mode at that point, or
Right,
I guess
right.
the 26th for those lazy enough day. But you've been, depending on who you are and how you celebrate, you may have been listening to Mariah Carey for since Thanksgiving or since the day after Halloween. It gets sooner and sooner every year. And honestly, in the pandemic times, post Halloween, there was no one really was showing hate helping. You know what I mean? Like if you're firing up Mariah Carey pre Thanksgiving, like thumbs up. Let's just get after it. So um, anyway, no judgment on. We've been doing Q&A for a few years now, and this is the first time we've done it live, and it's very exciting. Um, Tom has a better. Tom is a professional YouTuber, and I am not, which is immediately apparent to anyone tuning into this, like right away.
Well, we've already got a couple comments that your volume's a little low. What I did is I can't turn Pat's up. I can turn mine down, and then you all can turn yours up and let me know how that goes.
Gotcha. This
Um,
is a little bit of behind. That's me every week, and
well, it's a hardware issue,
right.
so
Or it could
yeah.
actually you could just work me into a shoot, and I'll just start yelling, start getting mad. Adrian, I think, on Twitter was like, "I'll come up with some question that will drive Pat crazy tonight." But that's good. Yeah, out of left field type of that. Like very spiritually nourishing at this point, so it is appreciated. So yeah.
Well,
You want to
we're
just
just
dive
yeah.
in? Let's just dive in.
Let's just dive in, man. That's what
Yeah.
makes you a podcaster. We're saying let's just dive right on in.
Yeah, Adrian had
Yeah,
a few quick hitters. He gave us a few. Feel free to actually leave them. We should just say that. Feel free to leave them in the comments. I think we're
yeah.
just going to try to have some fun, but we do have some that we collected. Uh, Pat, what is the worst sport to watch? Asks Adrian. Um, I would say I've never understood lacrosse. I guess I just don't get the appeal. How many? There are so many sports, and we did this. We learned this writing our anti-novel, Ron Carnage, hurling, which
Oh,
any field sport with sticks that isn't hurling is trash compared to hurling. So, or I guess field hockey is also a different sport. But anyway, it's all garbage compared to like if you're running on a field with a stick, it should be hurling, and if it's not, it's boring to me. So sorry, lacrosse, it's just not for me.
I've actually never seen lacrosse being played. I only know there was one guy in our high school who played for a different school because again we didn't have sports, and he just walked around violently spinning the stick around all day, and it made me hate lacrosse.
A lot of
But
fun. You're right, tiny mini nets. But if somebody was like, "Hey, it's a sport of the future," I'd be like, what's the
what
John
is the
Cusack
sport of the
movie where he?
future?
Well, there's a movie with John Cusack who I guess I realized as I get older, I'm like, hey, I'm a big John Cusack fan. Anyway, he has at a dinner table, and it's the scene where the team and the dad is judging. He's like, well, actually, I'm pursuing kickboxing. I believe it's the sport of the future, sir. I think it actually is the movie Say Anything. I think I watched it. I wanted to like see if there was any
Sure.
difference. Anyway, I don't think kickboxing or lacrosse are the sport of the future. Anyway, Adrian, to answer your question, lacrosse. On to the second question. Tom.
I would probably answer baseball. Horrible sport to watch.
You
Just the
know,
worst.
not completely. I love it dearly, but I don't want to always just like take giant dookies on Tom's the things he says. I get it. I dearly love it. I think probably because I played it, but also weirdly, I don't want to like consume it with others. I just want to like sit there with a beer and like some. It's kind of like watch it closely and not talk to people about it. You know what I mean? Like in a weird way, I want
It's
to
because
like.
there's nothing to talk about.
That's a. There you go. People who don't like it, I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like you don't have to get it. I don't want you know. Anyway, from Adrian, Tom, what is the best Legend of Zelda item of all time? So we're turning up the heat pretty quickly here. To be
Right,
quite honest with
item.
you.
I mean, if that doesn't include weapons, because I would say the Master Sword, which is in the background right up here. Whoop, there you go.
And there's like
Um,
Zelda references in that room. If you've ever been to
yeah,
Tom's
yeah.
house, but I can't confirm that.
I've got a shrine. I've actually got multiple Master Swords in this room. I also have an Ocarina of Time, which if my son wasn't sleeping, I would bust out. Saria song for you, or the market theme song. That's a fun one. I mean, it's got to be the Ocarina of Time, which is also the best game. I mean, not only can you fast travel with it in Ocarina of Time, but you can like go back in time and change the time in Majora's Mask. So I feel like it would have to be,
So it's not the
but
sword.
well, I think the sword probably is a weapon, not an item.
Hmm.
So I think you're probably taking that off the table. Um, I think my runner up would be the hook shot after it's upgraded. I think it's called the long shot, which is I don't know how many games that's in. I think most of them. But yeah, the long shot one after you upgrade it as Adult Link in Ocarina of Time was always the most fun one. Just seeing what you can shoot it at and move around on. Good
One
shit.
thing I love about your Zelda fandom is you really and know it from an actual like I'm doing it kind of unceremoniously, like I just am very real about it. But you also have so many accessories and books and like old original drawing books and maps and like the lore and everything like that.
Um,
So that much
yeah.
performance, I would assume, fan in real life, you're just doing it for like social media likes or something. But you are every possible cylinder of fandom. It's intimidating to know someone can love something that much and then be like, I've never had a hobby or because you're like baseball sucks. I'm like, yeah, it does. Like, one of my favorite things. But yeah, no, I'm very jealous slash intimidated of your very real, like the amount of stuff in your house that Zelda is speaks to how big of a fan and how deep you go on it. So it's very intimidating. And one of the things I love most about you, to be honest.
Yeah, people appreciate that, man. Thank you. People who are watching either the live stream or the replay on our YouTube channel, which I just made the URL, the redirect for it, reminiscentpodcast.com/YouTube. You can see in the background of my video all the Zelda stuff. I'll move out of the way. There's like the Triforce lamp, 5 of the books, a manga, and Nathan asked in the chat, do you have the electric ocarina that finishes the song after you press a few buttons, or is it a legit ocarina?
He's going to go
To
answer in
which
his gaming
I'll
chair.
uh, step behind myself here, and it is legitimately the Ocarina of Time ceramic, and is painted. And I'll I don't know put it on like an Instagram story,
No,
but
you got to
like
play it before the episode's over. What is it? The Chekhov thing where if you pull a gun in the first act, you got to fire it by act three or whatever?
well, my kid's sleeping right on the other side of the wall, so I
That would
won't.
be the gun firing, really, is the waking the kid up. That's really, you
Right.
think it's the aftermath, but really it's the child.
But it no, it's like it's not like licensed from Zelda, but it came with a little song book that had like all of the songs from Ocarina of Time in it. Um, so it is a 10 hole, no 12 hole, um, in the key of C, and yeah, no, I love it. It's a really beautiful instrument, really hard to play. The high notes, you got to like do this chin tuck thing that feels really weird and unnatural, but
Was it an
yeah,
instrument before the game?
yeah, it's actually one of like the earliest instruments ever made.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah.
So Patrick, these next two questions are heavily Beatles documentary related. By the way, we didn't want to come swinging too hot out of the gates. But Patrick asked Tom specifically, how many times have you watched the new Beatles documentary? And these are all tongue in cheek. I'm fairly certain, but
How many times have I watched it?
think hard.
I mean, exactly. Zero. But I don't know, man. It's the same as like how watching all of the Star Wars movies has been on my New Year's resolution list for like 7 years because I've only seen the one and it was the bad one, I guess. There's a part of me that's like, I'm going to listen to a full Beatles album because it's not a bit. Like, I just legitimately, with the
What makes
exception
you
of like a
say
couple songs, I think their vocal melodies are shit and it makes me want to tune out. It doesn't make sense. But that's also my primitive brain just really loving pop major scales, which apparently they invented, quote unquote. But there's there's a part of me that really wants to find what it is that people like, but I know that I still probably will
every time I
not
watch
like it.
Man on the Moon, the movie with Jim Carrey about Andy Kaufman, I think this is exactly Beatles fandom. This is
I've
a happening.
never seen that.
Basically, he would wrestle women in public and stuff, and just like it was comedy, but it was like and stuff that
Oh,
that's really selling it short and oversimplifying. But anyway, every time I say that, it's like Tom is or the Prestige, where they talk about the magician who walks around with a fishbowl between his knees his whole just so he can like, but he walks normal just so in his act through his. Anyway, you are fooling the world, but not, you are
have
so
you
much, and
watched
it's
it?
really. I have. Yeah. I'll move along to the next question. Genuinely interested in Pat's thoughts on the Beatles doc because I'm personally having a lot of fun watching it. Fun wouldn't be the word I'd use. It's so long. Like it's too long. So Peter Jackson is involved, not more than involved. It's like his thing, and he split it into three parts, which everyone was like, "Okay, you drug us through the freaking mud with The Hobbit. You like brought Legolas back in, and it was just all over the place, and it was unnecessarily three parts." But the Lord of the Rings trilogy is so good that everyone's like, "All right, we'll do it." I will say, fun is not the word, except for the parts that. How do I say this? If you are a Beatles fan, think of your favorite band and the most important moment of their career, and there was a camera filming for like a month. Like if it was Blink, for me, Weezer, whoever, right? And you're just like, hey, this is like the moment of their career that is like pretty hands down one of the top three most interesting like months that they were together creatively, and cameras were. You'd probably want to watch as much of that as possible. So if you're like a Beatles diehard, I imagine you're just really loving to watch the creative process and how they the dynamics of the group members because you've probably developed these like theories in your head about how they talk to each other and how they hung out and what they like whether or not they respected each other at this point and you know what I mean like for Blink for us it would be fascinating I'm sure like we would eat it up hands down I don't where I was just like loving all 8 full hours of it after a while it was just kind of them noodling gets a lot of flack like playground and word of mouth you're like oh hey she broke up the Beatles I'm pretty sure it was like all of them being idiots or high or drunk or what I don't know. At that point, I got to reread the question so I don't just go off. But I feel like I felt a little bad for you quietly. It was weird, sure, but like nobody in the room wanted to do the task. Everyone else that was in the room, also who wasn't Yoko, wanted them to do. They had all these TV people and record people being like, no, suits were in there smoking cigs and just being like, yeah, no, it'll be good, you know. And nobody there wanted to do anything. I guess that's genuinely interested in Pat's thoughts. My thoughts were it was really cool to watch. I think this is kind of like the Good Morning America had a Rolling Stone writer on one morning to say, "Hey, the documentary just dropped. What's anchors were like? Oh, the part where Paul McCartney pulls Get Back out of thin air. He just kind of like strum in and just pulls one of the greatest Beatles songs out of you. You watch it is, you know what I mean? Which is like pretty amazing to have on film, regardless of
Yeah.
like with the bands you like. 8 was too many, but it was. My real thought is this, and you know I was going to take it here: generational infighting. They play on the roof, and everyone from the Flower Power era is always like, it was just everyone they interviewed, and I'm so glad they have, you know, like video. Nobody cared. They were just like, oh, the drug hippies are doing something a little unconventional. It doesn't impact my day, and I don't care. Like, it was to watch that part and be like, great, I love it. That was honestly my favorite part was people being like, oh, the Flower Power thing is kind of just like as their high a lot. I guess I don't know. It's just like it was just different. We're just changing things, man, and it was just like random British guy would be like, yeah, the Beatles are pretty good. Oh, they're on the roof. Great. It just was not a big deal at all. Like I'm sure it was like of course it was. I'm trying to be silly here, but they have so many men like sure, whatever. Like I don't know. I don't care. Like goodbye. Like good for them.
Sorry, I this is the stuff that usually doesn't make it into the podcast. Even though I turned the heat off on my phone, it's going for some reason, and now the baby's crying. So
I could keep going. Basically, the long and short of it was
please
it was
don't
as
keep going. Please
it was fascinating in a lot of ways from a
don't.
point, from a Beatles standpoint, from a Flower Power era standpoint. Mostly, you know, I truly am intrigued by this like weird, not weird actually, but Twitter is a safe space. Punk Twitter is a safe space for everybody who's like the Beatles are trash, which I think is like a little hard. Like even bands I don't like, I'm not like let people know I'm not like super into their stuff. So that's why I feel like a little like fine, but like keep it to yourself type thing. But I don't know. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was too long, but it was fine. I don't know. Like, don't you like a good like you? I wouldn't recommend that to anybody really. I don't feel like it was done to the best. Like there was so much good stuff. It would have been a great, I don't know, just normal documentary length because there was so much good stuff. The point of like showing people the process, but um, I think it was
This
like
could have been an Instagram reel. Is like the new. This could have been an.
no, it could have been like I don't know. I feel like it was malpractice to a certain degree because you're just like Peter Jackson did Lord of the Rings. Great. Are we supposed to just take him at his word for the rest of our lives? How many more unnecessary 3-part things are we gonna have to watch? And it was just like this could have been one part, a really good one part. You know what I mean? Like one of the best music documentaries, or like up there with people talk about the Doors one or the Eagles one or whatever. Just all the great music docs in the history of whatever. But this was just like this slog, which I guess in the streaming era, Disney Plus was like, sure, make it 5 parts. We don't give a shit. People are gonna click, and it's gonna be great for our numbers or whatever. But anyway,
Well,
yeah.
let's keep it going on
Sorry.
musical acts that I don't like.
Obviously,
Melissa in the YouTube comments asks, "What is the story behind the Strokes? Who is it that hates them again, and why?" So,
I'll let you go. I've been
um,
talking for too long.
and real quickly, Katie says it feels like the documentary, whatever, was gratuitously long for the benefit of super fans, which
Yeah, I should have just said that. That's a much cleaner way to say it. But I had to
in a
get a quick dig on Flower Power people.
and Adrian is finally here, and he says he doesn't give a shit that he's late. Just kidding. He
You're on
apologized.
the Mountain Time Zone now. There's no excuses. Like before, you would have just been getting off work, but now it's disrespect,
So
which I do respect. So
the story with the Strokes is, I feel like when we, with Pat and I, this was back when I was still in Colorado. We were like having conversations about like how to make the show, how to find out like what it is, and we've been leaning into, yeah, we know Pat's quiet, Adrian, thank you. We're trying, if we turn up his, I can't just like turn up his level, but I'm gonna turn myself down
I'm
so you
gonna
can
pump
keep
your
turning
gain a
it
little
all
bit.
up. No, please don't.
All right.
It'll ruin the whole recording.
This is another
uh,
good behind the scenes thing. It'd be like, Pat, there's a problem. Great. Should I do something? Please don't.
so all right, so Pat and I are years ago trying to figure out the show, and I
I think
feel
I
like,
want. I'm like, what about that
well,
isn't?
no, you got on this weird tirade about like, if we're gonna do the 2000s, we have to do the Strokes, and I was like, dude, fuck the Strokes. I'm never gonna talk about the Strokes.
You
Why would
call
they ever be on this podcast?
you call it a tirade. I asked a question in you
Should we
call
do
it
the
an
Strokes?
we'll call it an editorial phone call. I was like, music in the 2000s. Should we talk about one of the defining 2000s like bands? And I think we had a very direct the niche we were going for in Tom, which is to say, Tom said fuck the Strokes and the White Stripes. I was like,
Well, it's
okay.
just I didn't understand why it made sense, and then for months you were just like, I
Well,
mean, we gotta do
The
the
Killers. It
Strokes.
was we were. I was listening to that audiobook. I had just moved to Greensboro and I was unemployed. I was looking for a job and I was listening to Meet Me in the Bathroom, the audiobook, and it was talking about the Killers and how they did the eyeliner stuff based off cover, and they talked about that like rock revival thing in New York. A lot of New York stuff I could give or take, but I thought it was like At least spoke a lot to this and that. So I thought I'd just ask Tom what he thought about the White Stripes and the Strokes, and it is not the vibe, I guess. I think we like doubled down or tripled down once we hit episode 100 in the 2000s thing, and I think we drew a genre line, even though Tom is the biggest genre doesn't exist proponent of it. We're just. I'm glad you guys are asking for receipts because I am actually kind of loving this because like by all accounts, we should. And they're I don't even dislike them. It's just a show joke at this point.
But it truly does not make sense.
Sure. And also when you I don't know, like some of the New York rock, it was like you said. It's like sure, I'm sure I did. I don't know. Like they're okay. I don't think they're anything. I think they're fine. Like if Shia LaBeouf didn't wear that T-shirt in Transformers, I think maybe things would have been different. No, I'm just kidding. But
All right.
no,
Well,
Tom was
let's
like no, and I'm like yeah, that's it. They're a fine band. And now the show is what it is, so it makes sense not to still.
Pat, do me a favor. I'm gonna have you turn the gain up a tiny
Oh,
bit, please, just a tiny
wow.
bit, just a little bit.
It's at 3 o'clock.
What was it at before?
3 since you gave me this new chord or whatever.
Okay.
You want to
Uh,
get at 6? You want to go crazy?
well, do you have like
To go crazy?
I
How does
don't.
that?
I mean, it depends on what your meter is saying.
I was looking at
Sounds a
there's
little
three
loud.
different meters. There's the Riverside, there's the backup audio, and there's the
No,
actual machine itself.
the
I don't
machine itself.
I don't think I'm breaking anything yet. So I think this is should be louder. And I'm gonna stop there because I don't want
Uh, okay.
to.
I'll let the chat let us know. It's always nerve wracking to not know what's going on at Pat's house.
It's true.
So in the issue,
There's a fun
I
quirk at
just
my house, real quick. Goes through inexplicably, comes into the house, comes into the house so you can shut it off without leaving the house, which means that whenever we're recording, any water used will be heard on the show. It is
yeah.
like the closet is the best closet for sound in and
But the real issue is the device Pat's using. Most of them that are like a reasonable budget um, bring up a ton of noise when you raise it. So when we're editing this, it's not a huge deal. I can do it on my own, but we're running into the issues live. So we'll
let's
say
keep it a
fuck it
little
and
bit.
turn it up.
You're starting families. What holiday traditions are you going to cement in the canon of your family? Heavy question. Good question. I'll let you go first, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, I think from like episode one, it's been pretty clear that I'm not like a huge holiday person. Um, but God, I keep like thinking of so much about Mike Birbiglia's stand up. What was it called? The new one. And he was talking about the big joke was like seeing the world through baby's eyes. And I have been so excited for Christmas this year because it's my son's first Christmas. And I know he's not going to remember any of it, but like in past years, I would have been perfectly happy to like not even acknowledge Christmas or anything. But like, we went to a fucking Christmas tree farm. We cut down the tree ourselves. We decorated it. We made like popcorn and cranberry decorations, and we set up this train my granddaddy bought me when I was 3. And went to the mall to like meet Santa, and I was all like fucking hyped about it and stuff. So, um, I'm like
The
really
pictures
excited
were
for
very
it.
cute, but
Thanks.
like top
I had
notch.
like
Like not even just being a nice friend. It was fucking amazing.
I had like 30 seconds before he started crying, but I mean, I really loved the Christmas tree farm. We took this like basically a hay bale ride out to this mountain. They were like really steep hills, and they gave you like a little, a handsaw, and they were only like 4-foot trees, but it was so fun. We got like pictures and stuff of that, and I don't know, man. I'm like really excited for it. I would love to consistently cut down our own Christmas tree. We have this train again that I got when I was a kid that always went around the Christmas tree, and I would like to every year make a new ornament or like have Jasper make a new ornament. So those are like three of the things that I'm pretty excited about that I've never cared about before.
Yeah, getting a real tree has always been. I wasn't even going to say that, but so in my house, like pumpkin decorating and Halloween costumes, and we're all like essential competitive, almost like borderline competitive activities.
You
Um,
had real trees growing up.
yeah, we go out to Northeast, which we talk about some VFW shows we used to do out there, but kind of the whatever, and we'd cut it down, and we'd always bring it back. And the car was always low on gas somehow, and it was, I don't know, you have like little memories tied to it, but the smell is nice. So yeah, I would say real tree for sure. North Carolina, land of the pine, I guess. Like I didn't realize until you drive from Greensboro west towards the mountain, you just pass Christmas tree farms for like miles. Like you're like, oh, I guess there had to be a place for it, and it's here. So great. Um, I would say there's this Richard Scarry book is kind of the one I was going to talk about. Let me see if I can find the actual title. Um, but it's kind of like you think of what's that children's show, Tom? Little Town. Is that was it just called Little Town or
I
Bookworm Town or whatever?
thought about this show until earlier today, not knowing you were going to bring it up. It was like the little something of Richard Scarry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a book that he animated or drew or illustrated. The Animals Merry Christmas. And my grandma, I have her old copy she used to read to my dad and his brothers and sisters. And it's got these lovely poems and short stories about like misbehaving teddy bears that end up finding they try to get right before Christmas, and they end up getting handed to this little need some love, and together they made this like really good pair. I don't know. There's like really heartwarming, like great, funky, weird. The art's really great. He's like Richard Scarry, and it was always like honestly pretty deep into like and just like pass the book around and read from it and stuff. So I have like my grandma's old version that has some old poems and stuff that aren't in the reprint. A bunch of reprints for all of us when we left for college and things like that. So sitting near the live Christmas tree, reading those to Jamie over the next few days will be really nice. I'd like to keep doing that
Nice.
because honestly, Richard Scarry rules, and those stories are great and they're heartwarming, and it's just kind of like I don't know if you're like then like GTFO. I don't know. Yeah, I think having a kid definitely kind of reignites that. Like it's just nice, you know, little family
A-
moment and whatnot. Honestly,
Adrian
Kenny, do you know
says
Kenny from Lawrence Park?
yes.
He used to come over and we'd just be like firmly in late high school and we'd be like doing it and he would just come walk through the back door and just like know to sit down and listen. He would just like there was one Christmas where Kenny was just also in the room with us listening to stories and like kind of soaking it in with the like we don't have the big on the tree, but we used to have those and I used to like those. Maybe we'll try to our tree light game, but yeah, we're also kind of being a young in a real way because you're kind of like
Yeah.
learning what your parents did and how insane they were at every turn. So you're kind of making your own, putting your own kind of, you know.
Adrian says the busy town of Richard Scarry.
Yes, yes, where
Yeah.
worms drove apple cars, and we just accepted that.
I feel like that was like was it on Nick Jr. or something? And I remember being so frustrated by that and Maisie Mouse and some other show that was on Nick Jr. when I was like waiting for I don't know something out whatever the hell I watched at the time to come on. So I like hated the Richard Scarry thing because it was like right before the thing I actually wanted to watch. Anyways,
Very
um,
wholesome, very wholesome. Okay,
never watched it.
quick one, quick hit. Chex Mix piece.
Ooh,
Do you consider it a
ooh.
holiday snack? Where are you when you're eating Chex Mix? What's the situation? Do you like it? Have you ever eaten it? Piece.
I'm at a gas station on a road trip. I'm getting cheddar Chex Mix.
This is a delightfully detailed answer. I did not expect this. Can't throw you off, but
And
wow.
I like the kind that's like it's got like an air pocket. They're like they're square but puffy.
Corn
They're
checks or wheat checks?
I don't know. Whatever.
I pulled it up on Google, so this only I don't know this
Oh,
like this isn't knowledge I have walking around. But
no,
it would be I'm assuming a type of checks.
okay. Is that what checks are?
It's a cereal, yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's the Chex, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, are you
Do
talking
you
about
ever have
Chex
those like
Mix? No, no, yeah, Mix, not the cereal. But
no, but yeah,
anyway,
but they have
it's the
pieces of the
Chex,
cereal in there.
the cheddar Chex.
It's like
Yeah,
the
the
equivalent of having
Chex.
Rice Krispies has Rice Krispie treats. You can make Chex Mix with Chex, right?
Okay, my favorite piece in the Chex Mix is the Chex, I guess.
That's a hardcore answer. That is the most metal Chex Mix answer. Oh, whoops. Hello, doctor. Um, I'm gonna go rye chip, and I don't think it's close.
Oh, what?
What?
You
If
are
you don't say
so
it's
Irish Catholic. My God.
the rye chip is delicious. How that has nothing to do. Like I guess the name sound like I can see where you're coming from with the
It
name.
makes sense in my head. I don't
But
know.
if I get I'm like, this is garbage. This is trash. I throw it back. I
Oh,
double dip. No, I'm just kidding. I would never do that. But
wow.
if I have my own little bowl, I'm like, no, let me rearrange. I do. I would say the perfect thing is like a mix of all of them. You just kind of crunch. But if I need one
Uh,
single piece, the rye chip, love it. As a kid, I would eat
man.
all those first and then just suffer through the rest of the bowl.
Adrian says Pat is right again, my man. And Jason says nothing beats the Chex pieces in the bag loaded with seasoning. Best part of the snack.
YouTube.
Nathan says absolute worst Chex piece is the burnt piece of toast. Literally throw that rye chip away. Scorch Fest 2022 comes early.
Yeah, I think it was. It's actually burnt hosts from the local Catholic church just tossed in the bag. Um, no, the rye chip rules. But I honestly to say the Chex is I'm like, see you later. I think you looked away. I was doing like a visual gag, but it's podcast. I don't know. This YouTube thing is throwing me through a. Anyway, Dylan, what's your favorite emo holiday song? Which be the pinnacle of this episode. Probably the reason
Yeah.
we all gathered here today.
Oh, Pat, if you click on the YouTube link, you can see the comments too. That would help.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Anyways,
Definitely. It
he's
would.
not going to.
Objectively, I agree. The thing is, I agree.
Okay. Favorite emo holiday song in the count of three? One, two, three.
No.
You'll shoot your eye out, right?
Oh, I get that might be the emo because MCR covered Mariah Carey. Are we talking like original emo song?
Right,
Or emo
right.
Christmas? Well, that's the thing is like I'll bring up Nathan's question next because we wanted to talk about it, and I think honestly, forgive me, but Santa stealing your girlfriend. Somebody else brought it up.
So
I gotta look
good.
up that person's name real quick.
Santa,
Christy.
you
Christy
bitch.
brought it up as
Yeah.
so. Is that emo or is that indie Christmas? Splitting hairs. Anyway, yeah, it's probably you'll shoot
They're
your eye out
not indie. They were.
songs.
I think it's emo enough.
Sure. But
Emo
like
enough.
Chris Lukey tweeted us the other day, the Fountains of Wayne song about wanting an alien for Christmas. I don't know if that's an emo Christmas song at all, but it's
You
great.
know, Simple Plan had a Christmas song. And I remember in eighth grade, we had a computer class where we had to like make something in Photoshop. And I made, I don't know, I stayed like late on the last day of school before Christmas break to make something about. I don't remember the song. It's Christmas and I want everything. I don't know if that was an original, but I think when we tweeted that out, Chris pointed out there are some good Christmas originals. I think that's one. It's not emo, but
I think
Katie
you'll shoot your eye out
asks,
is the answer for this specific
yeah,
question.
Katie
It's
asks
original.
if
Oh, go ahead.
"Don't Shoot Me, Santa" counts.
As emo, no, but it is
Terrible song too.
great. I
But
think that's incorrect.
I think the main song is
Well, let's talk about that next
probably
real quick. So
second
the answer to this
best.
is "You'll Shoot Your Eye Out." You don't like
Yes.
"Don't Shoot Me, Santa" by the Killers, which is deranged, and honestly, we'll talk about it later. I need to talk about this with you off the air. No, just kidding. What's tough is I don't think the Reliant K album would count, but I'm assuming this question does not imply down the middle of the plate are a very pleasant part of Christmas. And for the show, it would be Reliant K, but man, maybe that's not emo. I don't know. But I think "You'll Shoot Your Eye Out" is the answer. But we did get a bunch of questions, especially from Nation. Thoughts on the Christmas banger, he says, by the Maine. Or actually, the question is the concept of Santa stealing your girlfriend in general. There's a lot of media around getting it in with Santa. And
Yeah, yeah.
thoughts, Tom?
I I love that song by the Maine, but Yeah, the whole mommy kissing Santa Claus. I know that it was like a Twitter thing. Like I was today years old when I realized the song was about the dad dressed up as Santa, so that's why the mom was
No, it
kissing
wasn't.
him. Did that occur to anyone? Because I feel like it slipped
No,
by
you're right. You're right. But in
the
my
entire
head, I
population.
that child witnessed Santa in one of the billions of houses he visited, choosing
Tongue in their
just
mouth.
like for no reason to have an Michael Jackson saw it all. But no,
God.
I think I saw there was some
Uh,
SNL skit where it was you know, basically Maya Rudolph and Kristen Wiig and Amy Poehler singing "Santa's my boyfriend." I don't know, like I feel like it's Oh, actually, there was some sex columnist on Twitter that tweeted the other day. She got an email for a promotional product where, how should I say this? But for a person to sit and have an experience with themselves that was enhanced by being able to sit on Santa. And I thought this adds a weirder, darker wrinkle to the hooking up with Santa in pop culture area that we can just keep moving on. Need to stay here.
Adrian's pretty set on. He says, "I choose to believe in the magic of mommy kissing immortal elf man Santa Claus, and I refuse to change my view. I had never imagined Santa as an elf."
You also like Chex and Chex Mix as your favorite piece. So
Okay,
you call me
moving on.
Irish Catholic. All right, Midwest Catholic boy. If we're just going to throw wild shade. Okay. Dylan, favorite holiday show you've been to? Interesting question. I think I texted you when we got this question. I don't know if I've ever been to one. What would qualify? Like I've seen bells at random churches. People put the gloves on and they just go hard with the thing, you know. But I'm sure he's talking about the context of the show.
um, hmm. I think I've only been to one that I can remember that was like specifically a Christmas show. So there was an easycore band called In the Day that I think Jess Scatella was the drummer of at this point. He was on, or they were on the podcast. For episode 250, they did the new artwork.
It's the best possible guess. If it was any band
Oh, yeah,
at any point in the last 50
it was
years, it was probably him.
probably them.
Or probably them, yeah.
So, they did a Christmas show where one of their friends. So, like, the scene was really tight. This was like 2009, 2010. The scene was really tight, and it was like all the usual suspects just playing shows together. So one of the band's friends was dressed in this all red like one piece thing with like the barn door butt, and he came out with this big like Christmas tale book, and they he read from the whatever story of like 'twas the night before Christmas. It might have just been called that, but they put all these things of the band members in it. So in between every song, he came out and read a passage from this book, and I just remember being like, it shouldn't have worked as well as it did, and it ended up being like super funny. But then they just played like their normal music, but in between songs, just did a Christmas reading, like parody. Um, I think that's the only holiday show I've ever been to that was specifically holiday or Christmas related. But we've
And
got an
now for
interesting wrinkle
something
though. So Nathan, who was the winner/loser of Scorchfest with his take that every Newfound Glory song is hot garbage, says uh, he's got to round out his 2021 redemption arc by saying Newfound Glory is nothing for Christmas is a fantastic Christmas song, very wholesome. To which Adrian replied, "I'm so proud of the personal growth you've shown, Nathan, an absolute inspiration. I would love to be more like that. Not with the Beatles, but maybe with the Strokes." Whoa.
what's interesting is I'd love to carry that energy into 2022, but we are really so it's going to be not that, but that was a very beautiful. It's the holidays, right? Nothing wrong with loving thy neighbor.
Oh boy.
And now for something completely different. Adrian asks, "What's your opinion on astrology?" I'm going to let you take this one,
Like
or I guess I'll take it
astrology,
too. But what's
like
that?
zodiac stuff.
Yeah, Adrian's in the comments. He can clarify, but I'm assuming.
Um, I think it's all bullshit for sure. Um, I so in AP psychology, one of the first things we did was the teacher passed out. They asked what our like zodiac sign was. We gave it to him, and then he handed us a paper that had like our thing on it. So we read something based on our zodiac, and then he had
Introverted, extrovert,
everyone.
or whatever.
Well, like he had everyone rate how accurate they thought it was, and everyone raised their hands, and then it turns out everyone had the same paragraph, and
Yeah.
it was like, yeah.
Introverted, extrovert. It was like, um, it was a good exercise. And yeah, sorry, I'm stealing your story.
No, I mean it's just like I don't know, dude. If you have like a newspaper and you read through all of them, it's like you don't like failure. I mean there's that dumb shit, but also like when Megan and I started dating, her mom printed out this like literally this thick, like an inch thick, 80-page star chart of like our compatibility. And first of all, who's gonna read that? But I
Did you
don't know,
pass?
man.
Did you pass?
I think it said we were incompatible. We've been together like 10 years, but I cannot see how the randomness of whatever is in alignment when you're born. I mean, because that would say like anyone who was born within a month of me, or like April 22nd to May 21st, is exactly like me. To which they'll probably like, well, no, not really. But then it doesn't mean anything. Is I don't know
Yes.
my opinion.
We talk about Malcolm Gladwell, where certain Canadian youth born in certain months are more likely to be professional hockey players.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like, through that lens, there are commonalities between, I guess, there would have to be. The astrologists are like, yes, we are doing this to see which of our children will become professional hockey players. So, like, I don't think that, and that is not really, yes.
yeah. I think it's I don't know. I kind of question those who put a lot of faith into it, but
When we used to, there was a Chinese restaurant in, y- growing up, and that would have the menus that had like the year of the
yeah.
you were born, whatever you were. And I think I was the rat, and I was like, I'm good. These types of descriptors. I'm like, not even sure it's inaccurate or whatever, but it's just like, all right, yeah, yeah, yeah. My lion, and I'm like the rat. I'm like, dope. Cool. Yeah, no, it's so I think like as soon as I found out about astrology, I was like, I'm just gonna end up being ridiculed by like I don't need to go seek ridicule. You know what I mean? Like I'm good at some point. So, but an interesting question. Adrian asks, "What's the
Wow.
number one thing you like to be complimented on about yourself?" And as soon as you answer, Tom, I'm going to say, "You're such a Leo."
But I'm a Taurus.
Exactly, which is a
um
pretty Scorpio thing to do.
so well, if you want to compliment me, don't tell me I did a good job, because I will either feel guilty or not believe it. um so it's interesting. I think the thing that I value the most, which I'm actually like really trying to move on from, is the amount of effort put into something. So like if rather than telling me I did a good job, because again, I'm not going to believe you. If someone said like, "Man, it seems like you put a ton of work into that," uh I appreciate that, because also if someone's like, "Oh, that's great," and I didn't put a lot of work into it, um then I'm going to feel guilty. So I think I would
Then you
prefer to
must hate
have.
the internet in general because it's not a merit-based system of success.
I know, dude, and that's what's so
As a
frustrating
content
with like,
creator, you must. I know.
oh, dude, the things that I put the least effort into
Yeah,
are the ones that do well or
that's the
whatever. It's
whole
so
thing.
maddening. Like I want there to be like a direct correlation between effort and
It's so
payoff or
John Maddening.
reward or compliments or whatever. So, um, yeah, like I want to be complimented on how hard I worked, which I don't want it to be that way forever. But that's where I am right now.
Yeah, I don't like it, and I don't like gifts. I don't know. I'm broken. a
You don't
broken
like
person. So
gifts. You feel
yeah,
guilty?
mm, I think like I don't like compliments just because nobody likes them. Or maybe some people do, but it's just like, sure, yeah,
No, I'm
well,
like dumb and like annoying and fucking.
I don't even really have feet or whatever. It's just kind of like, no, it was their idea pretty much.
That is actually Irish Catholic.
I'm always deflecting. Yeah, can be traced back. Actually, I was listening to Colin Jost on the Marin Pod. Wow, you're a pretty Catholic guy, and it was just like insane guilt and everything all the time. So that's exactly what that is. But always deflecting in that sense. But yeah, I think it bleeds into gift giving, where like if somebody gets me anything, I'll feel just guilty about it. And if I don't get them something that's better, I'll feel indebted. So I'm just like, you can get me not having to get something for you, and then let's just not talk about it ever again.
Tell
You
him.
actually betrayed
Tell him
my
about the
trust.
the.
You bought my wedding as a gift. And out of spite,
I
I
think
bought you a lot of toilet paper as a gift for your wedding. Because I was actually upset. I was like, you had told me, like, person to person, man to man, like, no gifts. I know you like that. It's all good. And you bought me a guitar, which is like a great gift. It's a tremendous gift. One that would have been impossible to top.
well,
Not saddened, but I was pretty hot about that. I was like, this is a fundamental misunderstanding of everything. And
okay, but
I was
we had a specific conversation about the guitar was like $45. Like it was barely a guitar.
Tom 45 too many.
And then Pat sent me for days I was getting UPS deliveries of toilet paper. And
I
Megan
bought
was like
you a literal year's supply. I think. Maybe I'm
yeah.
wrong, but
And honestly, it's the best gift I've ever received because we had hella good toilet
it was
paper
good
for like
toilet paper.
9 months. And
Yeah,
it was
I was
probably
like,
twice
fine,
as
I'll
much as
give
the
you a
guitar
gift.
was.
It was too much. I should have gotten you an actual, but I was mad. That shows you how mad I like where I actually execute the pettiness. Usually it's Catholic silent suffering or whatever. But I was like, you know what? Bye. So to answer your question, Adrian, I don't like it that much. But I think like Tom and I both are hard work.
But I mean, what would you like to be complimented on though?
Just move on to the next thing. I think we're good. You know what I mean? As long as there's a team where there's an understanding that everyone's doing their best and doing their share. Um, that's why like year in review, like it's good to look at analytics and like get better the next year. But I think like I like I don't know.
Well,
Like
Adrian says,
yeah, go for it.
Pat, I think you have a very distinct and effortless comedic voice. I feel like you are the platonic ideal of like the funny guy in the office. Hey, Mr. Funny
That's the
Guy.
thing. It bleeds over. Thank you, you son of a bitch. Yeah. Sometimes my own brother or wife. It's like a prison, to be honest. Like
You
my
mean the
brother will
funny guy?
text, or no, just like you whittle it down to this like dry, hard. Like I can't tell if you're joking. Is the question you get all the time, anyway. So it's like to simplify things, you narrowed it to this like small window of understanding that no one gets, and it's just uh, just making a joke, Adrian. But you split me wide open. Um, let's move on.
That's the bad version, Tom. What are you referring to, Adrian?
The checks decision.
Oh, saying,
I
hey,
still
Mr.
can't get over
Fuck.
you being like, "Hey, what do you like about?" I like the checks, and rocked my world. I've known you for a long time. I feel like that's the type of detail I should know. Like if we were on the dating game and you and I were a couple and we lost on the fucking checks in checks mix, just astounding stuff. And I don't even disagree. Like sure, like if that's what. And honestly, back to the astrology thing. If that's what gets you through the day, who am I? But
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
yeah,
Which I mean, if we want to have a philosophical conversation about if something is real or not, depending on if it makes you act on it, then it is real, right? I mean, I
it
don't think
just
they asked
spins,
if it was
man.
real or fake.
Let's go
Anyways,
back to Zach's gr- garage roof, which was
it just spins.
yeah. There you
Um,
go.
all right,
Okay,
we've
this
got yeah,
we,
yeah.
we do it every month. If you come here, Adrian always asks us for the top three albums, but I think we're going albums of the year. Usually, we put no thought into this. Put some this time. I have two out of three, and then I'm gonna say my two. Let you go, and then pick my third. How's that?
Well, I have six.
Okay. Gami Gang. Whoa.
Your number.
Gami Gang.
Wait, you're three or one?
I'm not.
Oh, well then
Actually,
give
no,
me it
these
as
are
well.
a top two, and then there's a third. Top
Oh,
two in no particular order. Glow On by Turnstile and Gami Gang by Origami Angel. The Turnstile, can we talk about Turnstile on set? I haven't stopped thinking about it. It was so good.
it was pretty fun.
This is so you guys, the fans, made that playlist for Tom when he moved, and we discovered Doom Boy and what's the name of the band?
Dirty Nil.
Dirty Nil, yeah. And in that song, they're like his crush. They're like, oh wow, you like Turnstile too, of all the hardcore bands that he's like trying to name. That's how I even discovered them. They
Yeah.
were going to be on Seth Meyers. Seen a clip of them playing, and they were playing from Glow On. This album came out this year, and it was so. I don't want to make you do too fantastic. It was so like some Pitchfork writer or somebody. We retweeted it, but they were like earnest hardcore. But also like the lead singer had this that was like almost like some Woodstock act from like the Flower Power era. And he was just like it was so fluid, but like direct, and it was like a compact performance dance piece or something. It was just like he knew what he was going to say and how he was going to deliver it. It was just like this like methodical, surgical delivery. And give me some of that TLC. I want to thank you. It was just I've been listening to it while raking leaves, and I'm just like raking the shit out of these leaves. Just it's amazing. Also, Holiday off that record, Glow On. Call it a holiday. Anyway, Mystery off. They had me with the song Mystery. I saw him on Seth, and I've been listening to the album ever since. But it's so good. I like it a lot. Gami Gang.
Mhm.
Too many recency bias, of course. Dear everybody, all the Remanasties were going nuts, including ourselves. Are we Remanasty still? There's your astrology.
I think we have to be. Um,
We're the
yeah, I
Remanasties.
think for me, "Fuck Art" by the Dirty Nil.
I was
Um,
wondering if you were going to say that because
well,
Blunt Force Concussion and Doomboy are kind of the only two songs I really like know intimately. So I feel like
oh, dude, Elvis 77, I think it is so good. I think, yeah, it's a toss up between Umbra by Grayscale and Fuck Art by the Dirty Nil, and Gami Gang was in there. And if I'm going like top three out of the genre, Fearless Taylor's version, maybe. Um, I don't know if you would you count that as an album, even though it's like a remake?
you're allowed
It's one
because
of my
people
favorite
gave it like
albums.
reviews. I was You're allowed to. I think people reviewed it as if it was
Yeah.
new, so you're allowed to pick.
No, I love it. This is what it feels like by Gracie Abrams is really good, and then Sour by Olivia Rodrigo are super awesome. But
Deja Vu song of the
yeah,
year,
it's
maybe,
so
probably not,
good.
maybe.
And
It's
I,
so
I
good.
think she filmed at the All the Small Things location, like so many
Mm.
other bands have. So that's
Yes,
fun.
non-genre we talk about on the show. Planet Her, Doja Cat. I
Mm.
do like it a lot. More closer to the genre, I think. Valentine by um, Snail Mail would make, I guess, my default third. What is it? What's the act that Jessica Tella mentioned on the show? Was the Japanese breakfast?
Japanese breakfast.
I, to be honest, I don't know if it's like being a dad or just like this is my musical. Someone else will have to like highly recommend it or whatever. Do a lot like we're just bad at this, but I don't think I'm there yet, coolness wise, to like I'm sure it's great. Mitski and Japanese Breakfast are two acts that like there's like I know I would love them if I was dry and was allowed to sink into them. I just haven't been like in that. It's been like not total chaos with the new kid, but I don't know if I'm like in a very Japanese breakfast like
Yeah.
aura. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
anyway, snail mail. I don't know. Something about the way snail mail does it so much. It's gut wrenching and like her and the guitar and it's kind of poppy, but it's kind of raw and I just like it. And I like and she to it and I really like it. So I guess that would be my third. But I wish I was
Okay.
like a Japanese breakfast person, but I don't think I am at the moment.
So we've got a couple questions in the chat. Um, Nathan agrees about Gami Gang. And Adrian says they're coming to Albuquerque in March.
Is
And
it on a weekday? Because that was my least favorite part about Albuquerque was bands would play in Dallas or LA or Denver or Phoenix, and then Albuquerque would be the weekday show in between weekend shows.
bummer. Well, yeah, Melissa likes New Turnstile, and she and Adrian are wondering if we are going to Dallas in August for the Reminasti meetup.
We have not planned this, and it is an unofficial meetup. The thing is, so we'll talk about this. Let's talk about this now. We're not even sure if we're going to Charlotte in January. We're like kind of sure, but like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
even Justin Courtney Pierre posted to Instagram how coming tour given the Omicron variant and everything like that. I don't know if it's
I
impossible to even
know.
say what we're doing next month, let alone in the fall. That's a total cop out answer. I realize that, but also like health risks with the babies at home and everything like that. So I don't know. Tom and I have yet to actually have a heart to heart about like, is it wise to? I would love to see you, Tom, but we haven't booked the hotel yet
Yeah.
or whatever. But it's kind of like the unofficial, also unofficial, but I guess we'll be there. But we didn't like advertise it as a meetup or anything. But we were going to go see Motion City do this tour in January in Charlotte. They're playing one of our favorite albums front to back. If you're listening to this, you probably know all this. But he's the lead singer's nervous. We're nervous. It's kind of a I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Like I'm leaning no, but
Right.
anyway,
Yeah,
that kind of
dude.
informs if we're back if we're not like being committal about the fall at all. We literally have a next month example that we're like kind of scared about.
So we actually went and saw Chelsea Handler in Asheville 4 days ago. And we went because they were like, we're going to be checking vaccination status. So bring your card. You have to wear a mask, whatever. They didn't check the cards. Half the people were wearing masks. And it was like, do you like that sucks, So I,
And the
I
thing
was,
is, you and I are boosted, so it's not really
yeah,
about. It's this
right,
now, and we didn't have to worry about this a few months ago. People under 5 are particularly at risk, right? Because you
right.
can't vax up before 5. So you and I are in that window now where it's like
Yeah.
said directly to them. And
Right, right.
and you were like, what
So,
if we were in the back and crossed our arms like the 30-year-olds that we
yeah,
are? And I'm like, into that
I know.
or much. So yeah, we can talk about it later. But to answer this question, hard maybe is the best we can do at the
Right.
moment.
Cause like, dude, I went out and bought a fucking steady cam and I've got my whole cause we were gonna do a video, we were gonna do an episode. We got all these like stickers made to like pass out as like promo materials for the show. Like go and like
Record a few episodes and everything. It was going to be this whole thing like for the show.
yeah. Yeah, I mean I honestly I would be more heartbroken to miss doing a unique episode like that and video where we were gonna like interview people and stuff, and I had like the whole camera rig set up ready to go, wireless mic, like lavalier and everything. I was more excited to make the video than actually go to the show. So there's a part of me that's like, do we hang out in the parking lot? Like, do we tailgate it but not go
Yeah.
in?
Oh, that would be so gut wrenching. But honestly, that thought did cross my mind as well. I was like, I did ask off for work, just as courtesy, just in case. But
Yeah.
yeah, we don't have the maybe who knows. But
But anyway, the question was about Dallas. No, Melissa, you're not making it up. There is a podcast conference called Podcast Movement that's in Dallas that I was going to try to convince Pat to go to, um, and figured we could maybe get some people there. I don't think this is going to be over in August. The conference itself is hella expensive. So. Um, there's a part of me that's almost like, well,
so
let's just go
Tom
to
gets mad at
Dallas for a
me.
day to hang.
Tom gets mad at me when I tweet like some episodes in advance. Tom just Leroy Jenkins to hey Dallas in next August, and I'm like, now it's like gained so much momentum that we haven't like not even talked about it at all. It's like probably a no, but
Well,
maybe.
how about this? I so in I think it was like the week before
And
they're
it's not due
filming
to a
Bat.
lack of wanting to or not wanting to.
Right,
I should
right.
note. Obviously. That sounds like a dream.
So I don't know if the conference is gonna happen, but they're filming. They're filming BattleBots in Vegas in either August or September, and I was like, I'm super going to Vegas, and I'm getting on that show because BattleBots is the greatest show ever. What if we all go spend a week watching BattleBots together, and that's the meetup?
It's like
It's
that
kind
part
of
of class in middle school where it's like somebody raises like, I've also been to Florida, and here's my story about it. Blowing and reality is out the window. Um,
but no, I
but no,
actually
it would.
do want to go.
I don't think it's off the table, but I don't think we can commit to it here now. Would be I guess my answer.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, I think even pandemic aside,
I think if we did,
don't
we'd
even
try to
know.
cement it in with enough people who wanted to go could, but I think it'd be
Right.
like the day before, be like, all right, we're doing it, everyone go, you know.
I mean, I think yeah, it was centered around this conference, but the thing's so expensive anyway, and it gets like more expensive as every month goes by. So we would need to like buy the tickets now, but not knowing what the situation is going to be like. Yeah, I don't know. But this August or otherwise, I think we should all try to get together for something. But this goddamn pandemic, what can you do?
Yeah, not the most thrilling. I think that was everything we had on the list, Tom. Oh,
Yeah.
Melissa had a quick one that I put in the doc. Well, we can end with this. What do you guys
Okay.
prefer that the Patreon users tweet about how excited we are to listen to the new episode, excitement until it drops for everyone? Um, I think I tweeted at the time, but tweet away, have at it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Open
for
season.
sure. Yeah, I think I forget who it was mentioned that they signed up for the Patreon because of the FOMO of people talking about the episode ahead of time, which yeah, I don't know, not to get too businessy, but hell yeah, tweet about it. um hey, do you want to try to open it up and just get real chaotic in the last few minutes here?
Yeah. If
Okay.
I told my wife that water in the house because we've gotten cut off the power, so she's like,
Well, for for some reason my heat has just been running this whole
sure,
time even
yeah.
though
I
it's
think
off. So.
rules are off. So yeah, whatever you have planned, Tom. I think you wanted to invite people in, which is
Y- yeah,
absolute anarchy.
if you have a Chrome, we're gonna finish up this year with a bang. If you
To
have a
ask a
Chrome
question, do you want to
browser,
limit the amount of questions?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's just gonna dump everyone in here at once, so it might just
Oh,
turn
here's
it.
your unofficial meetup. There you go.
If you have a Chrome browser, go to reminiscentpodcast.com/riverside to join the call. Um,
I'm very nervous.
I think it'll work. I'm not absolutely sure. I'll put it in the chat on YouTube. But yeah, it only works on Chrome.
Also, this is like extremely past my bed. By the way, just
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know if that's
yeah.
like
I actually wanted to ask. So you mentioned Japanese breakfast not being your vibe as a new dad.
yet.
I
I
mean,
haven't.
what is it? Are you looking for some energy? Is that why you're listening to
No,
dirt
that's the
stuff?
thing. Is the leaves. So many leaves. I'm not gonna curse. We bought this. We are, we've been really liking the neighborhood now. Like we were so like, not to use the word blessed, like to like I. But honestly, this weird like the home ownership thing. I don't know. You are at a home in Asheville, like the leaves are freaking bonkers, man. There's so many. I was so body sore for like 3 days. Welcome to your 30s moment where I just like was moving this mountain of leaves out to the front to get
I mean,
sucked up.
raking leaves in general. I'm not doing that shit. Let the grass die.
The
I'm
thing is,
renting.
there's
I don't give
so
a shit.
many that it would be like a thick layer that got wet
Oh,
and just
oh,
killed.
you've got a lot of trees. You
Yeah,
got a lot of
like if you look at
trees.
our, it's like all the houses around us don't have three giant trees right in the front yard. And when
Yeah.
I think nowadays, I just look and I'm like, there's three. There's three. They're so big and they're right there. And there's so many in the back as well. Anyway, it would just be this pile of wet mush. And then by spring, it would just be like, I don't know, like a rain. I'm assuming would be like the comparison or whatever. Just like, way. So,
Oh boy. Gosh, that makes me think of I had this DC shirt because I wore again only DC for like years. It was 2008 Warp Tour. It was these like blue lightning bolts. It was a white shirt, and it was my favorite shirt I've ever owned. I was crowd surfing at the starting line, and it was in Pittsburgh, I think, which was like a dirt pit that they were just hosing down. So it was a mud pit, and I got dropped. My white shirt in the mud. I only got to wear it the one time. Um, but yeah, good old Warped Tour mud pit.
Good old mud.
So it seems like everyone hates us and no one wants to hang out. I think they're all worried it's going to be too chaotic,
No, it's okay. I think
which
we're allowed to go.
it will be, and it'll be fun. But yeah, it seems like
for Tom.
some folks have have got to go. So thanks for hanging out. I think actually, since we're not probably not going to record a post show, Adrian won our the survey giveaway thing, and we like recorded a 45-minute call that I have yet to publish because I totally fucking forgot about it. But we can maybe publish
that
that
up.
for this week's
Also,
post
this-
show.
The audio of you being like, "No one came in." Nice. Sorry, that it should be 30 seconds. Anyway, happy holidays, everyone.
Ooh,
Hopefully-
wait, song of the week.
Oh God,
We
Mystery
forget
by-
every week and edit
Mystery
it in
by
like.
Turnstile.
Oh, what?
Mystery by Turnstile.
Okay.
And it's been so low. Oh,
It's not a new one, but I had a friend who liked the song "Equip Sunglasses" by Hot Mulligan and wanted more stuff like it, so I made a playlist on our podcast Spotify and put "Stubborn Love" by Seaway in it as a song that vaguely reminds me of "Equip Sunglasses" by Hot Mulligan. Again, not new. I think it's even been a song of the week before, but I just cannot stop listening to it.
nice.
So there you go. This felt weird. It felt different to like we're always kind of aware people are going to listen, but it's never been like a proper episode while people are. So if you liked it, maybe we can try more. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Oh wait, Melissa's trying to get on.
One more question.
One more question. This is the encore. It is oh my gosh. Okay, so Katie's winter break is starting tomorrow at 12:05, half day. I hope they're all watching movies. Happy holidays. Thanks for
Show
hanging
them this
out.
Q&A.
Yeah,
All right.
that'll be great.
No,
They'd love
please
it.
don't.
I hope I put the right link up. I'll test it out. Yeah, we cobbled this together like 5 minutes before we actually got on the call. Well, anyway, Pat, what are your plans on Christmas Day?
Jesse's family and my family was also going to be in town to be with, but my dad got a new hip recently, which is a good thing. But
Ooh,
a little bit of rehab. I think if he would have
Damn.
tried to drive or fly, there would have had to have been such a ridiculous amount of stops for stretching
yeah.
that it would have not only super stressed out the joint itself, but it would have made the trip like a week. It would have been like Oregon Trail speed. Like they'd have had to hunt squirrels and stuff on the way there for food. So
Damn. Well, I heard
we're allowed to
Kathy,
end it. I think we're allowed
Huh?
to end this episode.
all right, Pat wants to get out of here.
Like we've done this for years. Yeah, I'm exhausted. My bed. This is Jamie's
Yeah.
been. I shouldn't have said his name. And we can't edit it out. We're on YouTube.
Okay.
But been going to bed at like 8, and I've been like, I'll go too. I don't care, whatever.
Oh, nice.
It
All
has
right,
been
man.
nice. I'm like, bedtimes. Thrilling re-entry into my life. Like, well, that's it for me. It kind of simplifies things. You're just like, time to shut down.
Oh boy. Well, yeah. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks for agreeing to do it live, Pat. I appreciate you. I love you. And oh my
there's
God,
Melissa.
here we go.
I have a question.
The 11th hour. Hey.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Hey, yeah.
What's up?
I I can barely hear anything though. Yay!
Well, she's here.
Tom kept it alive for one more question, but you can just hang out. How's it going?
What, Pat?
Also, I think I shouldn't be the person talking. Everyone's been talking all about how. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, we got one last question, Melissa. What you got? Oh, she can't. Can you hear us? Hello, hello, hello. Check, check, check. Hello. No. Can you hear us at all?
I can't hear y'all. Very loud in here.
All right. Do you have a?
Try this.
Well, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming on and trying.
Yay! Okay, I'll see y'all. I can't hear you. Sorry.
All right. Well, thanks, Melissa. Sorry you couldn't hear us. Thanks, Pat. I love you, dude. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I feel bad. The gym was loud.
Yeah.
I'll send an Instagram note. Like, feel free to ask. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thanks
All
for
right.
being here. Happy holidays. The
Yep.
cheer that, the goodwill that Adrian showed Nathan this evening, where the growth, discovering that newfound glory is not 100% hot garbage. This percentage is lowered
Inspiring.
in his mind, and that's some Christmas cheer, if you ask me. Anyway, thanks everybody. Love you, Tom.
All right. Love you all. Love you, dude.
Feels weird to wave into the void. Not a. Bye, everybody. See you.
Bye. All right. Stream's done.